What's acceptable to have to explain to a child, but unacceptable to have to explain to an adult? Teaching the concept of personal space. Too many adults do not understand it. A man was standing so close to me in the supermarket queue that I had to ask him repeatedly to take a step back. Every time the queue moved forward he would be jammed up against me again. In his incoherent response he seemed very concerned that I wasn't jammed up against the next guy in the queue too, as if that was just an open invitation for random people to jump into the gaps ahead of us. Few years back I went to a haunted house with my friend and this lady kept standing stomach to butt behind us in line. We took turns being by her until my friend eventually just snapped at her, but I don't think she understood a word my friend said because she was doing it again 5 minutes later. Lol. Where babies come from. No shit, I had to explain this to a 19-year-old who got his girlfriend pregnant. He seriously thought that because they were both virgins, that she couldn't get pregnant. She did. When I was in the 8th grade my friend was complaining about tampons and how she would never put anything up there, so I asked her how she was ever going to have sex, and you could see the light bulb come on. A couple years later she got knocked up and I always felt guilty about it. Edit, we were both in a private Christian school with absolutely nothing resembling sex ed. Glad her parents took their job seriously. I think I'm even worse than that. As a teenager I refused to wear tampons because I thought that would mean I wasn't a virgin anymore. Yeah, woman face palming. How to do basic functions. Wiping your ass, using a knife and fork, tying laces, etc. How do you wipe your ass using a knife and fork? Edit, yes, the 3 seashells, got it. Edit 2, also love that people are saying very carefully. This is my go-to comment when anyone asks me how to do anything. Thanks for the image in my head. I'm a private tutor. I've had to argue with too many parents who disagreed with me over simple concepts like how to add fractions, but I'm billing them $80+ an hour, so I'm fine with spending a bit of time explaining basic ideas. Edit, yes, I charge $80 to $200 per hour. I only advertise my services in rich neighborhoods. Also, it's not like poor people are at a disadvantage because they can't afford my help. I'm actually quite useless. Math teacher here. I had to have my assistant transferred because she kept trying to correct me during lessons. She kept a calculator and would test my math in the back of the room. I was spending more time telling her how she got it wrong versus teaching the kids. SMH. I'm trying to imagine what she told her parents, partner, friends. Ect. Data 6351 transferred me because I was so smart. He could not handle having someone smarter than him working for him. He could not even do math. I found so many mistakes he made. Honestly, I feel bad for the kids' data teachers. I had to explain to a high school classmate what periods were. He thought that girls just started bleeding from all 3 holes down there. We need better sex ed. Edit, the 3 holes refers to the vagina, urethra, and anus. The urethra and vagina are separate. Edit 2, thank you for the silver on this terribly weird story time of mine. I'm more surprised he knew females have 3 holes while not knowing about periods. You would be surprised how many guys, and that's not just boys, think vagina has a single opening for all uses. Lamau. Yet if you ask one what a cloaca is, they will just gawk at you. Look both ways before you cross the street. That's survival of the fittest when they turn 11. Not everything on TV is real, some people on the internet lie to you. The problem with quotes on the internet is that it is hard to verify their authenticity. Abraham Lincoln, source, the internet. Basic hygiene. Cleanliness in general. Like, wiping the seat off in a public bathroom if you piss all over it. Grown-ass adults should know that's not someone else's problem. Yo, my brother will come to my house and piss on the seat and then my dad will get upset when I tell that little shit to clean it up. He's 11. If he's capable of making a sandwich, he's capable of wiping up his goddamned pee. why we cover our mouth/nose when we cough/sneeze, and how to cover our mouth/nose when sneezing/coughing. Do it into your elbow crease, not your hands, people. Dabbing is the only acceptable way to sneeze or cough. And sneezing/coughing is the only acceptable reason to dab. That they should take responsibility for their mistakes. That nobody else made them do the bad thing they did. Or that your own personal beliefs and way of life are not objective, and that there is an entire world outside of the small corner of the world you live in. A lot of close-minded adults end up being the entitled ones because they think they are always right. How to clean after using the toilet. Edit, clean yourself, not the toilet. Edit 2, both. Unlimited breadsticks are not really unlimited, and that you eventually have to order something. To someone who flipped a table while shouting, "I shall no longer patronize the Garden of Olives," a local morning radio show host I used to listen to absolutely dragged one of his co-hosts for this. She went to Olive Garden, ordered food but filled up on salad and breadsticks, so she just left. Didn't pay anything, didn't get her actual order, just up and left. This girl was so dense. 3 people spent 20 minutes trying to explain how she was wrong and she just didn't get it. She ordered food and then didn't pay for it. That's theft then. Yeah, she was clearly in the wrong. Why cruelty is wrong. Why they shouldn't masturbate in public. Wait. That's the issue for both parties? Little kids discover their genitals, they get quite enthusiastic about them. How it isn't okay to throw a tantrum when you don't get what you want. My favorite reaction to this situation: what were you hoping to achieve with that display? They'll just make something up in an attempt to justify what they did. Why they have to repeat 3rd grade? Even though you bumped into that person and knocked their items out of their hands by accident, you still need to apologize. Just the general concept of things you do on accident are still your responsibility. That concept is so hard to explain to kids. Say you're sorry, and help clean up. But it was an accident. Yes, you're not in trouble, that's just what you do after an accident. Repeat ad infinite. That there's a difference between being assertive and being an asshole. If there's a way to make your point without being cruelly blunt but you choose not censor yourself, then you're not being brutally honest, you're just being brutal. Edit, word. How to eat with your mouth closed. I recently, privately, asked my mom how my sister managed to grow into adulthood chewing with her mouth hanging open. She said she gave up in her teen years when nothing she did was making a difference. I had guys when I was in the army that would stuff half an hamburger in their mouths talking to me while chewing and swallowing their food without their lips coming even close to each other. Fun facts: half of them also don't know how to keep their saliva to themselves. Sweets and other treats are okay in moderation, and it is important to get some sort of exercise, even if light walking. The importance of keeping your hands to yourself. This is something really specific, but my brother had to explain to his friends that reptiles and reptilian were referring to the same thing. They thought that reptilian was someone you would name your kid. This was one day before they graduated high school. Women have a urethra and a vagina. Pee and menstrual blood don't come out of the same hole. As a female, 17, I didn't learn this until I was 15. Insane how it's not taught as often as it should be. After living with a 32-yo who behaves like a 12-yo for a year, don't shoot that slingshot in the house, don't take other people's things without permission, don't go through other people's things without permission, don't trespass on private property, don't eat candy for every meal, don't follow a bear around in the woods, don't chase the livestock, don't torment the pets, and the list goes on. Being an adult means you know you shouldn't shoot the slingshot in the house but choose to accept the consequences of shooting the slingshot in the house. My husband used his BB gun in the house to the consequence of a wine glass, a decorative flower pot, a cookie jar, and my work entry card that I had to tell the operations manager that I have no idea why it no longer worked. The BB gun that he can no longer find regardless of how much he looks for it. That the earth is, indeed, not flat. The earth isn't flat. Nor is round. Come on people, don't you get it?
It's obviously Earth-shaped. Damn Earth-Earthers. The world is obviously a pyramid. That you shouldn't kiss/hug/touch/sniff complete strangers. But did you know if you put your ear up against a stranger's leg you can distinctly hear what the fuck are you doing? Got a good laugh out of this. To use their inside voice when they're speaking too loudly. Sometimes it's time to use no voice. Please and thank you. Wishing something is true does not make it true. Respect for their fellow humans.